Hi, I'm Debbie Chronister. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I'm glad you're joining me today. You can find me at stampwithdeb.com, and I am here I'm on Facebook Live every Tuesday at 3 o'clock and Pacific time, and I'm so happy you're here with me today. Let's get started. I have a really fun project for you today. So there we are. I think we're okay. Let's go up a little high so that when it drops, and when I allow for it to drop, it doesn't drop. You know that. Okay. And let me just check on here and make sure it's in the screen and you guys are seeing everything okay before we get too far into this project. There's nothing worse than getting all halfway through a project and finding out that it didn't show up on the screen. I've had that happen, so I know. Or videoed something all the way through and then discovered that it wasn't working. So I get all the way through the project and then I would find out that it wasn't, give me a second here, that it didn't record. So I have to start all over. I have to go back to the drawing board, back to the cutting board. Okay, so I have this really cute card. Where's my card? I've lost my card. Did I hide it under here? I was carrying it around. There it is. Over here. So this is the card that I'm going to show you how I made today. Halloween's coming, and this is such a cute set. I love this little witch. She's one of my favorites. And the card opens almost like a double-vested jacket. That's what it makes me think of. It's called an angled gatefold card, but I think it looks like a double-breasted jacket. Double-breasted jacket, yep. So I'm going to show you how to cut these. And even if you wanted to add another layer, so if you decided you wanted a color in between these two, I'll tell you how to do that. So, and then the belly band is, of course, what holds the card closed. So, and you just slip it on there and down, and it holds it closed and makes for an adorable little card. Okay, so let's get started. So I have a piece of 12, yes, I did say 12, by 5.5 basic black. Well, you can order all of the colors. I believe you can order all of our colors in 12 by 12s. You have to order the packets, and so you'll get 2 sheets is all you're going to get. But the black right now is in the holiday catalog, in the July through December catalog. And you can order a pack of those, and there's 12 or 24 sheets in it. I'm not sure. Let me grab one. Okay, so there are... Not going to go back in. So this is how it comes in a package of 12. There are 12 sheets. So there are 12 by 12s in this packet. So with Halloween and Christmas and fall coming, I have a project that I will be ordering those for. A fun project that I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to use my my paper trimmer here. And this is at 12 inches right now. And I'm going to score it, and I've cut it to 5.5. I'm going to score it at 4 inches, right there. Then I'm going to score it at 8 inches. And because I use the 12 by 12, I have nice even numbers. If you use an 8.5 by 11, you're going to have to adjust these panels, and they're going to come out a little bit smaller. Okay, now on my left panel here, I'm going to cut 1/8 of an inch off of that, just so that it fits in when I fold over. When I fold it over, I want it to fold nicely. And sometimes if this panel's too big, so that's my left panel. See, now I've got a little gap in there, which is perfect because then when I fold it over, I don't have that puckering and buckling that would have if I left it at 4 inches. Okay, I'm going to keep this on here because we're going to cut this. So now I'm going to take my paper, my card base here, and I'm going to mark it. We're going to move this out of the way for a minute. Put it on the trash can. Okay, I'm going to mark it at, so this is the top. I'm going to turn it over so it's the top, and I'm going to mark it at 1.5 inches from the top. So this is my top, and this is 1.5 inches. Okay, and then I'm going to do that on the other side as well. So for that, I'm going to use this edge and just go to 1.5 inches. So those are marked across from each other. Then I'm going to come down here to the bottom, and I'm going to mark this. And I will have a template on my blog. I was working on that a few minutes ago. I'm going to mark this at 1 inch down here. You guys can't see this at all. I'll take my word for it. It's marked at 1 inch. And then I'm going to mark this end at 1 inch. It's 1 inch from this edge. Okay? So, whoops. So I have to come in this way and mark it at 1 inch. Okay. So on each edge, I have a mark right here, which is my top one. It's 1.5 inches from here. And then this one is 1 inch from here. And same thing on here. 1.5 inches from here and 1 inch from here to here, okay? And like I said, I'll do a template and put it on my blog for you. Okay, now we're going to take the paper trimmer. And I'm going to cut this from this score line to that mark. So by lining it up right in my track here, I should be able to see that perfect and trim that right off and have a perfect cut there. And I'm going to do that on both sides. So I'm going to find my score line is here and my mark is right there. Let me adjust that a little bit. Okay. Okay, now down at the bottom, I'm going to cut from this point to my mark. So I'm going to put that point right there, and my mark is going to come down here, and I'm just going to trim that right off. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. So I'm going to cut this from there, from the mark on the bottom to this point. Okay, now that's what I have. And it should be perfect. Okay, now let's go ahead and cut these and then we can put the trimmer away. So I have 2 pieces of designer series paper. This is Celebrate Everything. I don't know if it's still available now that I think about it. I think it is in the mini catalog. I'll make a note of that and check it out and let you know if it is. But this is, I mean, it's just a really cute. Now the other one that I used, this one was from Perfectly Penciled, and I know that one's still available. So, but I thought this one was really cute. So I am going to mark this at 1.5 inches. Now, I put them face to face because they're going to be opposites. And I'm going to mark it at 1.5 inches from the top, right there. And then I'm going to mark it at 1 inch from the bottom, from that bottom corner, which is going to be right there. And I'm going to do the same thing. These are cut at 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. So even though I'm using the same measurements, I'm going to use the same cutting marks. Now, if you were going to do another layer in here, let's say you were going to do a layer of the melon mambo. I mean, mango melody. If you were going to do a layer of that on the outside edge, then you would cut it at 3 3/4 by 5 1/4 and cut this one at 3 1/2 by 5. Okay? So it would be, you just keep going down 1/4 of an inch every time you cut it. Okay, so I'm going to put this in here. I have both layers at the same time, and I'm just going to, that way I only had to mark it once. I'm going to go from the corner over here to my mark, which is right there at 1.5. And then I'm going to go from the bottom, from this mark up to this point. Okay, now that should give me my layers. Okay, so let's check it out. Let's get rid of all of these. Okay, so now this will fit right here. And I actually could have put another layer in there, huh? And this will fit right here. Perfect. So let's go ahead and put them on, since we're ready for those. So that's probably the hardest part of this whole card, is cutting. Once you got it cut, it's easy peasy. So that goes there. And this one goes here. Oops, that one must have slid a little bit, I would say. Got a little bit wider down here, but you know what? Nobody will ever notice that. So my left folds in. Oops, no, my left folds in. So this is, remember, this is the one that I cut a little bit short just so that it would fold nicely. And my right goes over top. Look at that, it's so cute. Okay, now I have already stamped my hat. And I was gonna do this one. I was gonna do her, the little witch, in the orchid, what's it called? The new color, the new ink color. Orchid, I want to say orchid opulence every time I say orchid, so orchid oasis. And I decided afterwards, since I changed my paper here, that I wouldn't. But I had already started coloring it, and so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to use it anyway. When you stamp this little witch hat, you want to make sure you stamp it close to the bottom here, because your punch doesn't have a whole lot of space to go in, and you have to have it right. I mean, it's a little tricky. Don't go close to the corner. Try to go flush with the bottom. And there we go. So even though I've colored an orchid oasis, I am going to, I lost my stars, didn't I? Oops, there's another one. I want to keep those stars. Here's my third one. Okay, we won't worry. We'll just punch another couple more. They kind of fly everywhere when you punch them. Okay, then I am going to punch a band. So now I can, by punching the band, that will cover up my orchid oasis and make it match. So we're just going to do that. I think I'm going to put that on with dimensionals. And I'm going to use the mini dimensionals and my little tweezers. Where did I put them? Okay. They should be laying on my desk, but they're not. Okay, we'll just do it with my fingers. I usually use my little tweezers for this. Okay, and this is the back. And so make sure you take advantage of the straight edges here so that you don't have a dimensional hanging over. Okay. It's the great thing about those dimensionals. They're shaped so they work well. Even if you're doing something that rolls, they work, which is interesting. Okay. There's my little band on my hat. So now you can't tell I colored it. All right. So let's get my little feet here. So I have this sweet little witch, and she has feet, and I've already stamped them. And I'm just going to color them with pumpkin pie. And this is pumpkin pie light, which is very interesting. We used to have a mango. a Mango Melody pen, and they retired it, I guess because we had too many oranges. So, and my pumpkin pie dark dried up. I used it too much. That's all there was to it. Okay, now let me move my stars over here so I don't lose them. There's her little feet, and I'm just going to put a little adhesive right across the bottom of this, and those little feet are going to go, let's put them like that, and I'm just going to put it right just like that. I should use my silicone mat for this one. Okay, and so her feet are fussy cut. You do have to fussy cut them, unfortunately, but they're real easy to cut. And this is colored with smoky slate, light and dark, and black Stampin' Blends, okay? All right, now we have our moon. Let's get our moon going here. And for the moon, I am going to use a dauber and my pumpkin pie pad. And the moon is cut out of the mango. And I'm just gonna go from the edge inward, because I do want, I usually just sponge the edge, but because it's a moon, let's see if I can keep my table from moving all over. I want it to have some depth to it. We used to have the cutest little spiders. I wonder if I have any left. Ooh. We do have a stamp. But we used to have spiders. Hang on, let me see if I can find one in my drawer. No, not seeing one right offhand. I bet they're all gone. They were perfect for Halloween. Yeah, I have a feeling I've used them all up. So I have this box that has a lot of the ones we used to have in it. And I don't see any spiders in there. So they're probably all gone. Okay, so let's go ahead and stamp our spider then. So I'm just gonna go right over here. And I'm just gonna go there, and I'll position her hat so that it works for the spider. And then I'm going to put her on there, and here I'm going to use the regular dimensionals, and I'm only going to put them towards the top. These dimensionals have an issue, so it's good for me to show you. See how the paper, it cut through the paper, and so the paper is stuck to the backs as well as to the front, the top side. But they're still good. You can still use them. Just a little bit more challenging to get them off. So see, it's just the paper is stuck there. Okay, now we have our little witch, and we'll put her on the moon, in front of the moon. There's been a lot of cute photos on the internet lately of people holding the moon and just things like that, and it's just kind of been a interesting look. I saw one today that a guy looks like he's putting the moon in his car. So I don't know if you've seen them, but they're kind of cute. Okay, so we have our little witch with the moon, and this is going to go on the inside. Now this would be what you would stamp your greeting on. I'm going to go ahead and attach mine, maybe. There we go. And just place that right in there, centering it. And then I can close this up. My right goes over my left. Now for the belly band, I always like my belly band in the front to attach in the front, because then I can hide it and you don't see that crease in it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this around and bring this one around. But you don't want to pull them super tight. You want to just gently fold it around, nothing really super tight. And the more you do this, the more comfortable you'll get with it so that it slips off, because you want it to be able to slide off and slide back on. Okay, so my little witch, this one's a little lower than the other one. I am going to attach her right across here with adhesive. Just like that. And then I have those little stars that I punched out. And I'm going to take my green glue and I'm just going to put a tiniest little dot. Just like that. And then use my Take Your Pick tool, which is laying right here. And I'm going to pick up those stars. Remember the ones that I punched out? Well, they're going to go right on there. Now, you could punch these out in a different color. You could punch them in yellow, or you could punch them out of a glimmer paper. Oops, stay there. It's coming to me. Okay, there we go. Two of them, both in the same sort of color. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me today. If there are any supplies that you need, please be sure to check out the link at stampwithdeb.com. Right at the top of the page, it says shop, and that will take you to my Stampin' Up page where you can purchase supplies. Remember, stamps will be on sale Thursday, the 15th of September, all day long. If you want to send me your order before, the night before, you can do that. So grab your catalog, go through it, and decide which ones you fell in love with that you haven't gotten yet. And if you need to add supplies to it, keep in mind that some of the supplies are on sale for the weekly deals. If you need any of that information, just click on my blog and it'll take you there, and you'll be able to see everything on my Stampin' Up page. So thank you very much for spending this time with me today, and I hope you enjoyed my project. Bye-bye.